lane to think about. But playing that into the LeBlanc is definitely going to be tough. I wonder if they have something more fun prepared. And if it's ever a time to pick out something fun, it's now, because the timer ticks down.
Just play Cassidy.
I'm starting to get worried that is...
Yes! Oh my god, it's Nefiri! Woo! Okay. When in doubt.
What are you saying now? Huh? Atlas?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's Nefiri. That's what I'm going to say. That is the first time that we've seen it. Yep, this is a champion not designed for pro play. That is going to be a Varus lock in here for Samva. And so many of our mid laners do have cheeky Nefiri games. They just often play... I basically I've never played this champion. It's never been relevant, really. It's having a bit of a giggle here is Fisher. What's the reaction from Fate? With a lot of single target could be a problem when there is going to be a bunch of dogs in the mid lane. But let's see what happens. We jump into the Rift.
Which
W and E just seem to be the same ability.
Kind of, yeah, in
a lot of ways. And then her ult is you get a shield and you do stuff. As we're fighting, Sylvie is in so much trouble. Is going to be able to get the heal back from smiting the camp there. As Youngjae, unfortunately, not able to lock that one down. 2 apiece, though, when it comes to sharing out the popcorns. As Sylvie does slink back towards his side of the jungle. We'll be starting off on the Wolves. And by that, I mean he's not. He is just going to queue it and then walk over to his red side and continue over there. So
Nefiri's bleed.
Yep.
Want to highlight, so really interesting. Brion actually reading the lane swap well, then having enough people at the ready, and then
roaming around and killing people. Yeah. Is it like I just like that you get to play as a jungle camp. As the chain is going to connect and Fisher has to flash.
Actually, a really good example of what I was saying earlier. I didn't expect it to be disfavored for Mr. Fate, though, is that when Nefiri starts channeling her W, like, you know what's going to happen. You know the timing, you know when she's going to go in. So you can actually use that to guarantee that you land skill shots.
I think that he is probably going to try and not be in a lane with anyone if he can possibly help it, as Mihail forced to flash towards the top side of the map. Sylvie, though, going to make use of the time by taking at least one of these grubs. Fisher moving on over as Polu gets on in here. That is going to be a crash down employed. And so much damage onto Sylvie. Does have to flash away, but Fate easily follows up. And now Fisher and Vital. Oh God, Fisher is going nuts. He's able to get 2 here as Polu is trying to run away. All the doggos come out and it's a double, make it a triple, and I think Fisher's back in the game.
Who let the dogs out, Atlas? Quality champion.
Nefiri.
Probably still not going to be feeling the greatest, as Polo's going to have his back interrupted. And him and Samva are having a pretty decent time towards that bottom side. You can see Samva actually ahead in farm by just a little bit. There's the Mimic Distortion, but in goes Fisher. Headbutt pole going to connect onto Fate as well, but Fisher not wanting to go too close to the turret. Biting off more than he can chew there, but Vital is doing a great job making sure that he's in the right place at the right time. Fisher will be able to get another wave to crash. And Fisher not quite going to be walking into it right now, as doesn't quite find that cue. And all that one. As now Fate thinking about an opportunity to dash in. The Electrocute really just does a lot more than it used to. It catches me by surprise almost every time. Just feels like it shouldn't make your opponent explode. Quite like that. Sides 2-1 is the score so far, as Sylvie going to be a little bit late getting on over here. Reward goes down.
Mihail does have his teleport available, so Nongshim can basically choose, do we want to TP him in or do we just want to have him shove that bot wave out? Ideally they'd shove out and then TP, but that might be a little bit too late. Ideally you want to deny a 4th stack as Sylvie stacking the passive.
Yeah, Fate getting dashed on there, but does get to go back to his distortion. Jiwoo taking a little bit of damage as the bros, I think, looking for a disengage. Wallop comes down, double flashes do come on through as they get put to sleep. Mihail going all out though, and now Polu, can you actually hold them at bay? As it's 2 on the floor already. Fisher going to be going down low though, and that is a shutdown picked up for Youngjae. Nongshim, they do get the 4 out of 6. On the grubs, that is good news, but that shutdown gold for a Viego is dangerous.
They could have done one of 2 things, and instead tried to do both, which wasn't the best, I have to admit. But
wait, So you're saying that instead of doing one of two things, they did two of two things?
No,
that sounds way better.
No, they still kind of
over the wall, having the ult activated, getting the shield resets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Could have been a little bit of a better option. As you can see, the Merkwolves have made their way out into the river now. As Fate dashing in one more time. Chain's not going to connect there as Polo could be in trouble. Headbutt Pole does come down. He's going to try and crash his way out of it, but in goes Fisher once again. Magnet Storm coming on through as Fate not able to offer anything back there. And he does indeed have to flash over. Fisher now landing another Q here as the bowling ball doesn't connect. And look at these Wolves. They're getting very, very upset. Fisher, once again, with that ult on cooldown, but it's not on cooldown for all that long. You can see now with Brutalizer picked up as well as those Merc Treads. It's feeling like Fisher is getting more and more dangerous in this game. We'll be able to get some spare time with this outer turret on the top side of the map as well as Young Jay, with all of that gold, has built his Trinity Force. This is a very scary Viego. It looks like Fisher is just going to be able to get out of here just fine. Not concerned. Right now, he's got an item, and Fate does not quite have one built up just yet. Also, doesn't have a whole bunch of health bar here. Is looking to try and distort away. There's the Mimic as well, as goes back to the first distortion, but there's a whole bunch of bad guys, and he is going to explode. So's Jiwoo, though. My goodness, the bros finding an angle here. As the Fury going aggressive, these puppies getting annoying. As you can see, Young Jay just going to heartbreak at the wrong direction. Not going to be able to contest this Herald, and that is going to go over to Nongshim.
Gold utilize that.
Should be an opportunity as Young Jay moving on down. Charging up that stun. Chains are going to connect there, and oh dear. Sylvie in a fair bit of trouble, but they do get the teleport out from Mihail, and my God, the explosion of damage here from Fisher. Press W, and everything is just fine.
Oh, and we talked before about the Lilia ult when combined with an MF ult, right? Because it doesn't actually cancel because it's damage over. The same for the bleed. I think for Neferi there, you saw that the sleep on Fate didn't actually get cancelled.
Yep.
Till it was already too late.
Damage over time is not going to interrupt it, so it works out very, very nicely. Bro going to be able to take an outer turret in the mid lane against kind of the flow of play, but that's because Fisher is alone in the bottom lane with a Rift Herald, and maybe this inner turret is also going to fall because there's no one making their way over outside of Fate just coming out of the Death Chamber. And Fisher, with a bit of spare time, I think should be able to just take this one down. And yeah, looks like Fate not going to be able to get here in order to stop this whatsoever. There it is, 700 gold over to Fury.
Polo.
Yeah, Polo, I'm not sure if he's in a very good position right now. Mihail actually really smart, going to be taking away the Mega Cone, and that is going to mean Jiwoo can rotate around and pick up a freebie. That is going to be Polo falling down. The bros kind of just falling apart here.
Yeah, but you know, as casters, we always like, particularly the color casters, right? We like to pretend we know everything. And then when a champion like...
Although is still up against Mihail, so he's kind of doing fine. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, Samba just kind of caught out, trying to go back to the rest of his teammates. Decent flash, but yeah, like you were saying, just not quite enough.
This is where my boy Mihail just counter-picking himself actually ends up working out.
Yeah. All right. Fate is going to be able to get over the wall before having a nap. Watch out. Eep is not going to hit.
Punish Fisher if he goes in too aggressively. There is still an angle. But Viego and LeBlanc, when you're playing on the back foot, really lose a lot. It makes them good as...
That's a Magnet Storm, guys.
He didn't even need to flash. That's not ideal.
The value is actually absurd.
That's nice for Sylvie and Mihail as well.
Yep.
It's fine.
It wouldn't be bad if Polo got it, you know, and get that bit of a shield.
Yeah, could be good.
Morgan builds his Sterix, you know. There you go. There's the value. All right, Banana Brush being fought over here as the bowling balls going a little bit wide. Looks like Rift Scuttler will be taken here by Nongshim, though. And the Baron's been up for 2 minutes. There's a little bit of a consideration as both teams just trying to make sure that they have the vision where they can find it. Fate going to be denied a back.
And then there's also just Alistair, who is very strong appealing. And then the enemy AD carries in Ezreal.
Yeah, and Cassante can just press R on you, and then you're not in there doing damage.
It's not even build. Look at the disrespect.
Yeah.
Atlas was just building full armor.
Well, that just means that it's Vital's job to deal with the LeBlanc, as Nongshim going to be grabbing this second Chemtech Drake. And it looks like there's not going to be any response to it, just happily clearing out minions in the mid lane. And Bro, looking a little paralyzed, looking a little bit confused. Considerable fashion.
Now, unfortunately, Nongshim have been able to get their dogs in a row. With Fisher continuously applying this pressure inside now. Mid turret being sieged.
Ooh, that is a Shattering Strike, not really finding the mark, and this turret will just fall.
Sitting at 230 here, whereas Fisher is sitting a lot lower. Still okay in terms of items, but once that third item comes through for Fisher, it's going to be really tough. You can see as well, Fate, I think are going to have a tough time to try and fight for priority. Imagine Fisher is just going to show up, shove this in, and then maybe they'll look for a collapse. I think Nongshim have the Baron on their mind, Atlas.
Yeah, thinking about it, Fisher looking for an opportunity over the wall here. As we can see, the pack has regrouped. And he's now looking for a way in. Not going to find that Q right there. As you can see, Morgan not with a whole lot of Narbar right now. Going to be throwing some boomerangs around. With his newly created Black Cleaver, though, Vital is forced to ult very early in this one. A possible opportunity. They're still going to chase him down. And now Sylvie looking to try and get on in there. Young Jay will be able to finish off the cow as Fisher wanting to kill Fate, who is incredibly low and is still going to be able to survive. Polu may not be so lucky as Mihail looking for an all-out angle. That wallop was phenomenally placed. And they are playing right on the edge here, the bros. Morgan hops his way out. Mihail tries to go all out. But unfortunately, it's Samba that locks him up. The Nefarious destroyed his Fate, teleports back in to save the team fight for the bros. Oh, ward goes down, teleport immediately back in here. As Morgan says, you obey your lord, you put down that 75 gold worth of value here. As there's the Samba is just dead, but Jiwoo is going to have to sacrifice himself for that one, and that is another kill going over to Fate. That is 2 now to his name, and this LeBlanc is starting to get online.
That is a lot of Baron damage gone, though, and these health bars aren't super high. I think we're going to see Nongshim at least try. Fisher, 10 seconds. Yeah. TP's available, so they really just want to stall, but no ultimate available for Vital. Yeah. They're buying a lot of time, though.
Young Jay will be able to take him down.
Yeah, they got
out of the pit. So they do buy enough time.
The bros back. And Jiwoo, as Ezreal, you can feel so insanely safe, but you don't have Flash. And Polu, I think a lot of his engages this game have not really been it, but that one might end up
luring them into a false sense of security. Baron, an opportunity now for Bro, as they may give up Soul Point, but who cares? It's a Chemtech Soul. As Bro will be taking this one down. Fisher, can he actually threaten the base or something like that? It looks like that's not going to be the option as Bro tear through this Baron very, very quickly. It's on hit Varus. They're not too worried. And now the Bros just have full control. Throw away a Magnet Storm so you can win the game with it later on. It's all about investment, and it's beautiful. Just like right here. He might just be straight up dead. By might, I mean I guarantee he gets the lilting lullaby, yes. and he's dead. So he's like, oh, mark down that cooldown, baby.
No, but you know now that the next time they see him, they're going to go in on him again. So Polo stakes are kind of whatever.
No, I'm good with like chicken breast or like eggplant. I don't need steak. Especially not every day. We've had plenty of steaks this week. Just not required.
Yeah, no, that's...
Davis Morgan's coming on over. And, is Fate just going to be able to kill him? That's the question. Almost. That's down to 100, or 93.
There is a bit of a problem here, but looks like they are going to be able to get the backs in.
There's a pack of mid lane moving into the bottom side of the map.
That's actually my favorite part about living in Korea, is the mountains.
Yep, the fact that it does go somewhat vertical. All right.
That's Mininar.
Could be in trouble. The ulti's being pressed, an explosion of damage.
That's what I was referring to at the beginning of the game with Nefarian side lane.
Yeah.
When you're Mega Nar, that's, you're fine. When you're Mininar, not so much. And your mobility doesn't really mean that much because she's going to be able to jump on you with the W and then follow with the E, even if you try the hippity hop away. And
the good old double dash is pretty powerful.
Side laning. I mean, you've told me double dash isn't very good, but I beg to differ.
I mean, you can still do it. I just don't think that it's the best Mario Kart, okay? That's all I said.
Objectively, I am wrong. We have very straightforward here. Gets the ultimate in. And
look at that expression. But you're right. I mean, we're getting really to the base end of it. All right, there's a little bit of a stun on Mihail, but he's happy to tank it up. Magnet Storm connecting onto a few here from Polu. But where is the follow-up? Where is the angle? As Fisher, the call of the pack comes in, and look at the Varus explode. Fate gonna go down as well, and Fisher, yeah, if he can press W on you, I think at this point you're just dead. And Nongshim After losing a couple of team fights in a row, they decided, we're not doing that again.
And this is what Neferi looks like in solo queue. Generally in pro, you don't really get this experience as Vital, trying to make sure that Morgan can't TP or back so that the rest of his team can end.
Oh, that was a cute one there from Morgan, but I think he's still going to have to watch from the enemy jungle as Vital heads off. Oh no, the interruption, too powerful. And these Nexus turrets will go down. Neferi, for the first time, will be picking up a victory here in the LCK in the final day of 2024 summer.
Just ban it.
Like, you have to, just based on the respect.
Yes.
That's deserved. Look at this. We did actually, like, it is very, it's hilly terrain here, as we can see the Nongshim Hill coming back with a vengeance towards the end of this game.